Hey everyone, so I wanted to share a Fusion 360 add-in I've been working on for a while. I think it's finally at like a good kind of polished point. It's a simple add-in for helping keep track and take notes of your projects you're working on in Fusion. It's called Fusion Notion Notes. I'm using an application called Notion. It's extremely robust. There's a very generous free tier. Has a lot of potential to really help you manage and keep track of your projects if you want to keep them, outside of Fusion. So whether you're learning or you're experienced, it's a good way to revisit kind of where you're at with your projects. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to install this and run it. And the first thing you might notice is a little icon pops up over here into the top left of your quick action toolbar. And once you click it, the first time you initialize it, it's going to prompt you with the settings dialog. And from here, you can put in the database you want to use. If you don't want to use a database, you can put in any Notion page you want or whatever. If you're not familiar with Notion, you can click the Get Started and kind of get the logistics of it. It is incredibly big, I guess, in the sense of the things it can do. So there's a whole world out there on the internet that will get you spun up with Notion if you're not familiar with it. So what we'll do is we'll go open Notion to find the database URL. I'll open up my Notion. Here's the database I want to use, my Autodesk Fusion Notion Notes. I can either click the three dots here and click copy link, or I can also do the same up in the top corner here and copy the link. So once I have the link copied, I can go back to Fusion. I can paste this in. You can have this open either in the web browser or the desktop app. By default, it's going to look to see if you have the app installed. And if you do, it'll default to the desktop app. If not, it'll default back to the web browser. So I'll save settings and I'll close. Now when I click this again, it'll take me back to the database I had just given it the link for. And from here you can say, okay, I'm going to make a new page. And in this page, I can be like, I want to make a parametric hex bolt workspace. It's going to be a model, so it's going to be in the design. And then stage, let's go with drafting. Focus, learning. And then you have the created date, you have the last updated date, so you can see when you first started it and the last time you worked on it. Topic, you can be like, okay, well, this is going to be parametric hardware. If you're familiar with Notion, you'll know that this is like, all of this is completely customizable. Again, Notion's incredibly robust. It can be extremely overwhelming in the beginning. So if you're new to Notion, I suggest just diving in and just making simple pages and going from there. Again, there's a whole chunk of the internet dedicated just for learning Notion. And then like any text-based note-taking app, you can just start typing stuff here. You can be like, okay, today I want to make a parametric hex bolt. And then you can be like, okay, let me make a list of things to do, make a sketch, extrude that sketch, things like that. So this would work a lot better if you have a second monitor or you have a larger monitor where you can kind of have both of these up at the same time. So jumping back into Fusion, I can say, okay, well, I know I want to make a sketch, so I'm going to create a sketch in the XY plane. Can use a circle. And then, okay, that looks great. And then I'm going to extrude that and say, okay, well, let me try that again. Okay, that looks great. That looks nothing like a hex, but it's a start. So then I can be like, okay, let me take a screenshot of this and I can hop back into my Notion and say, okay, well, I did make the extrude, and I can paste that image in. And I don't need this whole image, so I can crop this within Notion and kind of get the focus. These are just very rough notes. You can go back later and polish them up. So they're your notes. You do whatever you want with them. And you can say, okay, that's great. And then you just continue to work through and you can make notes and be like, Where are you? Make sure to add proper parameters. Exclamation. Again, this is nothing like super wild. It's designed to be as simple as possible. Taking notes, we've all been to school, is important and it's huge. And if you're learning Fusion for the first time, it can be overwhelming. You see it all over the internet. People are like, oh, I just can't learn Fusion. It's too complicated, blah, 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 blah. So this is a good way to kind of help yourself study, give yourself some discipline. Learning anything, taking notes is going to benefit you absolutely. So, if you're interested, I'll put a link for the GitHub. And then you just go to the code and download the zip, unload the zip. And then in Fusion, you can go to your add-ins, script or add-in from device. And then you select your unzipped folder. And then you should be able to go. Let me know if you have any questions or anything you think that I can improve upon. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.